Imagine parking your van tonight on land where nobody can knock on your window at 2 in the morning, nobody can tow your home while you sleep, and nobody ever sends a bill. Not a campground, not a relative's driveway you're overstaying your welcome in. Actual American soil that you, as a citizen, already partly own. Because there's a fact the campground industry would rather you never learn. The federal government controls over 600 million acres of this country, and on huge stretches of it, living in your vehicle is completely legal and completely free. No rent, no hookup fees, and no permission slip from a landlord. Some of these forgotten territories have free hot springs. One sits 10 minutes from a Walmart, and one has no rules, no time limits, and no landlord at all, because technically, nobody's in charge of it. But this lifestyle has a dark side, too. 5 of the most famous destinations in America have quietly turned into traps. Places where one wrong overnight stop can cost you a ticket, an impound fee, or in the worst case, your entire home on wheels. So we're counting down 10 forgotten territories where you can legally park for free, and then the 5 places you need to stay away from, including one that surprises absolutely everyone. Whether you chose life on wheels or it chose you, this map belongs to you. Number 10, Ocala National Forest, Florida. We're starting with the entry that shocks people the most because everybody assumes free land only exists out west. Ocala National Forest sits in central Florida, 400,000 acres of pine scrub, crystal clear springs, and sandy forest roads where dispersed camping costs exactly nothing. For anyone living in a vehicle east of the Mississippi, this place is close to a miracle. Winters here run in the 70s while the rest of the country scrapes ice off windshields. The forest sits an hour from Orlando, which means real hospitals, real grocery stores, and day labor if you need it. And the natural springs stay 72 degrees year-round, which for someone without a shower hookup is not a small detail. The fine print is the 14-day rule. Like most national forests, you can stay in one spot for 14 days, then you have to move. But moving can mean driving a few miles down another forest road and starting the clock again. Thousands of people quietly rotate through Ocala all winter doing exactly that. The real twist is the summer. Heat, humidity, and mosquitoes turn this paradise into a swamp sauna by June, which is why the people who know this lifestyle treat Ocala as a winter home, not a forever home. And if Florida surprised you, the next territory hides something no campground in America can sell you. Number 9. Gila National Forest, New Mexico. Deep in southwestern New Mexico sits the Gila, 3.3 million acres of canyon country, and scattered through it, something remarkable. Natural hot springs, free to soak in, on land where camping is also free. Think about what people pay for that. Retirees spend thousands on spa resorts in Arizona. Here, mineral hot water bubbles out of the ground next to a free campsite, and the crowd is a handful of quiet travelers instead of a resort full of tourists. The lower elevations stay mild through winter. Gas and groceries in nearby Silver City run cheaper than almost anywhere in the Southwest, and law enforcement out here has bigger concerns than a tidy van parked off a forest road. But the Gila demands respect. This is genuinely remote country. Cell service disappears for miles at a time. The nearest mechanic might be 2 hours away, and if your rig breaks down on a washboard road in January, you'd better have water, food, and patience. This territory rewards people who are prepared and punishes people who aren't, which is exactly why it stays uncrowded and exactly why it stays free. But the next spot trades hot water for something else entirely. Scenery that people cross oceans to photograph, and you can sleep in the middle of it for nothing. Number 8. Valley of the Gods, Utah. Picture Monument Valley, the towering red sandstone buttes from every classic Western ever filmed. Now picture its quieter twin sister a few miles north, with no entrance gate, no fee booth, and no crowds. That's Valley of the Gods, a 17-mile dirt loop through Bureau of Land Management territory where you can pull off almost anywhere and camp for free beneath rock formations the size of skyscrapers. People pay hundreds a night for hotel views that don't come close to what you get here for $0. Sunrise turns the Butte's blood orange. At night, with no towns for miles, the Milky Way stretches horizon to horizon like somebody spilled it. The catch is that the valley gives you scenery and absolutely nothing else. There's no water out there, no trash service, no bathrooms, and barely any cell signal on most of the loop. You haul in everything you need and haul out everything you don't, and the nearest real supplies sit in Bluff or Mexican Hat, small towns with small selections. This is a territory for people who've already got their systems figured out, their water tanks full, and their fridge stocked. For them, it might be the most beautiful free address in America. The next territory flips that trade completely. Less postcard, more practical, because it sits 10 minutes from everything you actually need. Number 7. Craggy Wash, Arizona. Just north of Lake Havasu City, a dirt road winds back into a desert canyon, and that canyon is one of the worst-kept secrets in the vehicle-dwelling world. Craggy Wash is free BLM camping with a 14-day limit, and its superpower is location. 10 minutes from your campsite, you've got a Walmart, auto parts stores, laundromats, libraries with free Wi-Fi and air conditioning, and a hospital. For someone living in a vehicle, that combination is gold. You get the legal security of federal land and the daily convenience of a mid-sized city without paying that city a dime in rent. Winter mornings here are sweatshirt weather. Afternoons hit the 70s, and the canyon walls block the worst of the wind. Hundreds of rigs settle in every winter, from $500,000 motorhomes to 20-year-old minivans, and out here nobody cares which one you drive. The twist is the calendar. Come summer, Lake Havasu is regularly the hottest city in America, with temperatures pushing past 115 degrees. That's not uncomfortable. That's dangerous, especially without air conditioning. The people who thrive here follow the oldest strategy in this lifestyle. Winter in the low desert, then climb in summer, and the next territory is exactly where many of them climb to. Number 6. Coconino National Forest, Flagstaff, Arizona. 2 hours north of Phoenix, the desert floor rises 7,000 feet into cool ponderosa pine forest, and wrapped around the city of Flagstaff sits the Coconino. Miles of free forest roads where dispersed camping is legal, in summer temperatures that stay 20 to 30 degrees cooler than the valley below. Here's what makes this territory different from everything so far. Flagstaff is a real working city, a university, hospitals, hardware stores, and an economy that actually hires. People living in the forest drive 15 minutes into town for work, then drive 15 minutes back to a campsite that costs nothing. It's the closest thing this lifestyle has to living in the suburbs, except the suburb is a pine forest and the mortgage is zero. The 14-day rule applies, and rangers here do patrol, because Flagstaff's forest roads are popular. Keep a clean camp and rotate spots, and you're simply another camper. The real limitation is winter. At 7,000 feet, snow buries these forest roads from roughly November through April, and the Forest Service closes many of them completely. So the Coconino is the summer half of the equation, the high ground you pair with places like Craggy Wash and Quartzsite. Now we're into the top 5, and it starts on the ground where Hollywood built the myth of the American West. Number 5. Alabama Hills, California. If number 8 looked like a Western movie, number 5 is where they actually filmed them. Hundreds of them. The Alabama Hills sit at the base of Mount Whitney, the tallest peak in the lower 48, a landscape of rounded granite boulders where Hollywood shot everything from John Wayne pictures to Gladiator. And for decades, anyone could roll in and camp among those boulders for free. Then the secret got too big. Social media flooded the hills with campers, trash piled up, and the BLM faced a choice: shut it down or manage it. They chose to manage it, and here's the part that matters for you. Camping is still free. It now requires a permit, but the permit itself costs nothing and takes a few minutes online or at the local office in Lone Pine. The town of Lone Pine sits 5 minutes away with groceries, gas, and a genuinely friendly attitude toward travelers, because travelers are its whole economy. 14-day limit. Water available in town. Winters cold but usually passable at this elevation. The Alabama hills are proof of the one rule that governs every territory on this list. Free places survive only as long as the people using them stay invisible and stay clean. And the ultimate test of staying invisible comes next, because number 4 isn't a place at all. It's an entire state that most people drive straight through without realizing what it is. Number 4. Nevada's open desert. Here is a fact that sounds made up. Roughly 80% of Nevada is federal land, 4 out of every 5 acres in the entire state. Outside the casinos and the city limits, Nevada is essentially one giant free campground administered by the BLM, and almost nobody talks about it. 20 minutes outside Las Vegas, dirt roads peel off the highway into open desert where camping is free and legal. Same story outside Reno, Pahrump, Winnemucca, and 100 wide spots in the road. That means you can stay within reach of cheap city services, casino buffets, 24-hour everything, and some of the lowest-priced gas stations in the West, while sleeping on land that charges you nothing. Winters in southern Nevada are mild. The desert nights get cold, but the days are usually sunny and workable. The trade-offs are real. Wind out here can rock a van like a boat, shade does not exist, and some areas near the cities attract people you'd rather not camp next to, so experienced travelers drive a few extra miles past the first pullout. But as pure strategy, Nevada might be the most underrated territory in America. Maximum freedom, minimum attention. The next entry, though, is the opposite of remote desert. It's free parking in the middle of cities, with security guards protecting you while you sleep. Number 3. Safe parking programs. This is the entry most people have never heard of. And for anyone sleeping in a vehicle inside a city right now, it might be the most important 2 minutes of this video. Dozens of American cities run official safe parking programs, designated lots, usually run by churches and nonprofits, where people living in vehicles can park overnight legally and for free. Santa Barbara started it decades ago. San Diego, Los Angeles, Denver, Seattle, Phoenix, and a growing list of other cities now run their own versions. Here's what you typically get. A legal spot where police will not knock on your window because the city itself sanctioned the lot. Bathrooms, often security. And in many programs, a caseworker who can help with paperwork, benefits, and housing lists if you want that help. Nobody forces anything on you. The fine print is that these are programs, not campgrounds. Most require a simple registration. Many have wait lists. Some have rules about running vehicles in quiet hours. And they're overnight arrangements, so you're usually out during the day. But for a retiree on Social Security stuck in a city, or anyone in that gap between housing, this is the difference between sleeping with one eye open and actually resting. Search your city's name plus safe parking program tonight. Now, number 2 is the exact opposite of an organized program. It's the one place in America where nobody is in charge at all. Number 2, Slab City, California. Out in the Sonoran Desert, on the concrete slabs of an abandoned World War II Marine base called Camp Dunlap, sits the settlement that calls itself the last free place in America, Slab City. Nobody charges rent here, nobody collects property tax, there are no time limits, and no utility bill will ever find you because there are no utilities. There's not even a landlord because the state land it sits on has been left alone for decades. A few thousand people live here in winter. Old-timers in decades-old trailers, artists building sculptures out of scrap, retirees stretching pensions, and drifters passing through. There's an outdoor music stage, a library, even an internet cafe running on generators and stubbornness. Salvation Mountain, the famous painted hill, guards the entrance, but you need to hear the other half honestly. There is no running water, no power grid, no trash pickup, and no police station. The community mostly polices itself, which mostly works, but this is not a gated retirement park, and petty theft happens. Summer temperatures pass 120 degrees, and the year-round population shrinks to the toughest few hundred souls in America. Slab City is total freedom with the safety net completely removed. Some people find themselves here. Some people find trouble. Visit first, in daylight, in winter, before you commit to anything. And that brings us to number one, the undisputed capital of this entire way of life. Number one, Quartzsite, Arizona. Every January, a dusty town of around 2,000 people on Interstate 10 becomes one of the largest gatherings of human beings in Arizona. Hundreds of thousands of RVs, vans, and trucks flood the desert around Quartzsite, and they come for one reason. This is the promised land of free and nearly free living. Start with the free part. Surrounding the town are BLM areas like Plamosa Road and Dome Rock, where camping costs nothing for 14 days at a stretch, and the winter weather is about as close to perfect as this country offers. Then there's the option almost nobody outside this world knows about, the long-term visitor areas. For less than $1 a day averaged out, a single permit lets you stay from fall through spring, 7 months, with access to drinking water, dump stations, and trash service included. That's an address for the price of a coffee habit. Around it grows an entire seasonal economy. Swap meets, cheap solar dealers, van build helpers, and the famous winter gatherings where complete beginners get taken under the wing of people who've lived on wheels for 20 years. If you are new to this life, scared, and don't know where to start, the honest answer is Quartzsite in January. You will not be alone. So those are the 10 free territories. But before I show you the 5 places that can cost you everything, quick pause, because this matters. Everything in this video is the legal, public layer of this lifestyle. Anyone who's actually lived on the road knows there's a second layer. So whether you're a retiree trying to make Social Security stretch, you're preparing for this life, or you're worried about someone you love who's already out there, I put that second layer into one guide called the Van Life Savings Manual. The specific money-saving strategies, the stealth techniques, and the workarounds I genuinely can't walk through in a public video, because content like that gets flagged and restricted the moment you get specific. The link is in the description below, or just scan the QR code on your screen. All right, back to the map, because knowing where to go is only half of it. These next 5 places can cost you a stack of tickets, an impound fee, or your entire home on wheels. Counting down, number 5 to avoid, Los Angeles. The cruel irony of LA is that tens of thousands of people live in vehicles there, and the city treats them like a problem to be ticketed. Los Angeles bans vehicle dwelling on most residential streets, restricts oversized vehicles overnight across huge areas, and enforcement sweeps come with tickets that stack up fast. Unpaid tickets lead to tows, and impound fees can pass $1,000 in days. For someone whose vehicle is their home, an impound lot isn't an inconvenience. It's homelessness, instantly. If you're stuck in LA, that's exactly what the safe parking programs from number 3 exist for. Otherwise, the free desert is only 3 hours east. Number 4 to avoid, the San Francisco Bay Area. Same story, higher prices, and one extra threat. The Bay Area combines aggressive, oversized vehicle bans with the worst vehicle break-in epidemic in the country. Cities across the region have banned RV parking on public streets block by block, pushing people from street to street in a slow-motion chase. And while you're away from your rig, smash and grab crews work parking areas in minutes. A broken window in a house is a repair. A broken window in your home on wheels in January is a crisis. The Bay Area is a beautiful place to visit with a van. It is a punishing place to live in one. Number 3 to avoid, the Florida Keys. On a map, the Keys look like Van Heaven, a 100-mile island chain, turquoise water, endless warmth. In reality, the Keys are one long no overnight parking sign. Monroe County and the individual cities ban sleeping in vehicles almost everywhere. Enforcement is constant because tourism money depends on keeping paid rooms full, and the few campgrounds charge more per night than an apartment costs per day in other states. There is essentially no free public land in the Keys, none. People drive down dreaming and drive back broke. Stay on the mainland, Use Ocala from number 10 and visit the Keys on a day trip like everyone else. Number 2 to avoid. Sedona, Arizona. This one hurts because Sedona used to belong on the other list. For years, the Red Rock country around Sedona was legendary free camping. Then it became one of the most Instagrammed landscapes on Earth. Millions came, and the land paid the price. The Forest Service responded by closing nearly all the famous dispersed camping areas around Sedona, and rangers now patrol those closures seriously. Camp in a closed zone and you're looking at federal fines, not a friendly warning. Sedona is the cautionary tale of this entire video, the proof that free territories die from overexposure. The good news is that Flagstaff and the Coconino, number 6 on our list, sit only 40 minutes up the road. And number 1 to avoid. This is the one that surprises everyone. The actual United States territories. Puerto Rico, Guam, the U.S. Virgin Islands, American Samoa. Every so often somebody hears that these islands are American soil with low taxes and cheap living and starts dreaming about van life in paradise. The problem is simple. You cannot drive there. Every one of them is an island, and shipping a vehicle across an ocean costs thousands of dollars each way, before you learn that most of the islands have limited free camping, strict land rules, and infrastructure that struggles for the people already there. The freedom on those islands is real, but it isn't vehicle freedom. Meanwhile, the mainland territories we covered today ask for nothing but a tank of gas. Add it all up and it comes to something simple. America quietly holds more free, legal, livable land than any country on Earth. And the people who need it most are rarely told it exists. Whether you're planning ahead, already out there, or worried about someone who is, you now know more than 99% of the country. Take care of these places, and they'll take care of you. Subscribe if you want more of the map nobody hands you, and I'll see you out there.